Have you found yourself in a situation as a parent whereby you're asking yourself, am I a toxic parent? Am I parenting the right way? Am I doing the right things to raise my child? These are the questions that we have today, and today we're talking about effective parenting. At times you find it that a parent is present in a child's life, but literally this parent is very absent when it comes to parenting and the way of raising this child. What are the things that we are supposed to do? Where are we going wrong as parents who are parenting the Generation Z and the Gen Alphas today? It is becoming a problem in the society today, and we are having kids who are even committing suicide just because these kids, we are telling them things that they feel is too much for them. Today I have a very special guest with me who is an expert. She's going to introduce herself and she'll be helping us in raising our children. Karibu sana, Madam Elizabeth.
Asante sana. I am Elizabeth Watiri Mwangi. Elizabeth is I am a practicing full-time counseling psychologist working in Murang'a town. My office is at Toto, just on the way to the government prison.
So, Madam Elizabeth, you look amazing today. Let me start with that.
Thank you.
You look so amazing and ready for the discussion. And you find that today, parents, especially the millennials, we are having a problem handling the Gen Zs and the Generation Alphas, because how our Generation X moms and dads and our baby boomers parents, they handled us differently, and we are trying to pass on these, let me say, traumas, and we are trying to pass even the positive traits that we got from our the parenting style that we got to the new generations of today. And some of them are not working at all. And just like I said in the introduction, some kids are even committing suicide. Yes, we've heard of that happening just because these kids could not handle what it is maybe the parent said or what it is the parent did to them. They did not discuss, and that is why we are here to discuss effective parenting. So where have you been with maybe parenting? You've been talking to parents or?
Yes, thank you very much, Sylvia. I have been talking to parents in high schools when I get the chances to do it. And mostly I emphasize on effective parenting. Effective parenting. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema malezi bora au malezi mwafaka. Parenting is an enormous task, but it is worth the trouble. And no one person is an expert in parenting. True. Because of the uniqueness of every one of us parents and the uniqueness of the children also, and also the dynamics in the modern society. So effective parenting means working with one's child, very closely working with the child, step by step, listening to the child, to the verbals and even the non-verbals. Talking with the child, not to the child, but with the child, such that the child feels that you are there.
What's the difference between talking to the child and with the child? Because I've heard that you've put emphasis there.
Talking with the child means that you are giving the child also a chance to air her views or his views. But talking to me just mean maybe giving instructions or just the child being there to listen. But talking with means you're sharing. Okay. So in this case, it's where the parent gives listens to the child and also gives the child a chance to share his or her feelings, his the frustrations maybe or the challenges in his life. And in that case, the mother will be able to guide as necessary. Yes, when they talk together, he's able to feel the child, the problems or the experiences of the child, and is able to guide the child as necessary.
Okay, and maybe, do you think the style that we were parented with, that is how we were raised up those days, do you think it is okay for us to pass on those traits to the generations that we are raising today?
Well, I feel that times have changed, and in the present life, it's not possible. It may not be fruitful to raise our children or to raise the young generation the way we were raised. Because these days, the current child is very much aware of so many things that are happening.
Yeah.
Remember, they are exposed to so much social media. They know their rights. And they are getting a lot of information from the media and that kind of thing. So they are very much informed.
Yes.
They know they have rights, and they are comparing themselves with other children out there. So those parents of the yesteryears could have been maybe doing it out of ignorance. They didn't know any better way to do it.
Yeah, sure.
And some, it depends on the personalities. Somebody may just be not parenting properly because the person is self-centered and just wants to look at his or her needs and not the child's needs. So in the present life, we have to be aware of what is happening in the society.
Yes.
We have to give the children a chance also to express themselves. We have to listen to them. We have to look at the uniqueness of every child, because you may even be a parent who has raised many children, and maybe they're even successful, but another one is not like the one you raised yesterday or the other years. So each person is unique, and we have to give them a chance. We have to cater, or we have to acknowledge their uniqueness, such that you parent each child as he or she is, not like everybody else. Yes.
Then we also have maybe parents who are very present.
Yes.
Physically, they're there. But when it comes to helping this child grow, they're very absent. We also have parents who are going through issues in their relationships. That is, a husband and wife have issues, and then they're passing this on to the child. What are some of the long-term effects of this child being raised in a family that is not, do I call it morally upright, or I don't know the right word to use, yeah? But this child has not experienced present parents in their lives.
May I say that we have different styles of parenting. There's this style that is called permissive parenting, whereby the parent is very much interested in pleasing the child. And in most cases, you'll find that such a parent maybe is somebody who is very busy and away most of the time. So when he or she happens to be around, he or she wants the child to be happy. So they'll be doing everything that the child wants. They provide everything that the child wants without even any guidance. And we find that in some cases, these parents are not even good models, because parenting also means that you model your child, because it is the best way of training a child. If the child happens to be also permissive, we find that in the modern life, in some families, taking alcohol, for example, is the norm.
Yeah.
Going out is the norm, and the parent is doing that, going out, coming late at night, taking alcohol, and even storing some in the house. And
but they don't want their kids to do the same.
They find that is the normal thing. So in this case, the child is exposed to this type of life.
Yeah.
The parent is telling the child, don't take alcohol, but the parent is taking alcohol, coming drunk, and even keeping alcohol in the home. So it becomes a problem, because the child has to do what the parent is doing.
Yeah.
We know that the parent is the hero of the child, and the child will most of the time copy what the parent is doing.
Yes.
So I feel that as much as we would like to enjoy ourselves and to do our things, we have to mind about our children. We have to model them. We have to set example.
Yes.
We have to do that. We can sacrifice some things for the sake of our children. We have to do them. We do them away from the children, because if we don't do what we feel is best, then our children will copy, and then it will be a problem even. Maybe even disciplining them, because they have copied what the parent is doing, and they'll do the things that they found the parents doing it because they think they are the best. So in that case, we find some parents complain that the children are big-headed, or they are drug addicts or things like that, but they are the ones who train them to do that. So we have to show them right from the tender age that these are the good things to do, always guide them, or walk with them, and always be present in their life, and show them the good things that you would want them to do. Yes.
But I think sometimes some parents want to give their children all the things that they did not receive as children, yeah? So you get a family is doing very well, the parents are doing very well, and now that is not the life they lived when they were younger.
Okay.
And now they have kids who are exposed and now they know how to ask for things, for luxuries, and for all these things. Yeah, I think that is where you're taking us with the point of permissive parents.
Yes.
They allow.
Yeah.
I want to go to this place, shika pesa.
Movie.
And I want to go to a movie, they don't say no.
Yes.
So it has effects on the child as well when they grow up.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes you have parents ambao, they provide all these things, and a family that was doing so well, now they have kids who don't know anything about life. And this growth suddenly starts falling because there was no one to take it up.
Yes. Yes, because as much as a parent is supposed to provide all the requirements for the child or for the children, we don't have to spoil them. Because in some cases, we've found even some students in some boarding schools having too much money that they don't even respect teachers because they find the teachers are not they're not dressing as well as them. Some can even drive to school or to college, and the lecturers or the teachers are not driving as good cars as they are doing. So as we provide for our children and not let them cater for themselves, like it happens in some cases in some low income families, we are supposed to give them just what they require. If it comes, for example, to shopping, as the child is going back to school, just discuss with the child, agree what the amount of money they require, the items that they require to school, because giving them too much money even can tempt them to enter into drug abuse or alcohol, because in schools we find all types of personalities, and if too much money will lead to temptations, because even other people, even drug sellers may even want to tempt them so that they get customers.
Because they have the money.
They have the money, so they can get it. They can introduce the students or the children to drug taking or alcohol taking, because they'll be regular customers. So we should limit. We provide all the requirements for the children, but we limit to what they require, because they may not even concentrate on studies when they are just thinking of the fun they can have with the money, go out, sneak out of school, do these things. So we should give just what they require, such that they can be have time to think about their studies and not even just think about the money, and maybe even think of how important they are because they have money. And actually, if they already have money, why would they have to struggle studying hard?
Okay.
Yes.
So you have highlighted, you've said there are different types of parenting styles, and then you've said permissive parenting. What's the next one?
There is also the authoritative parenting. Authoritative parenting, I think, would be the best. Although people don't stick, they juggle between the different styles. But authoritative parenting is where the parent is setting standards and telling the child exactly what is expected. If, for example, we are to work in the farm, the child has to understand that if we get farm produce, then my salary or whatever I'm earning will be enough for your school fees and for whatever else. So there's dialogue. And they plan together. If it's the work they are doing, they guide them. They are present in the children's life, and they are working together. That is the authoritative. But then they discipline the students, but with love. In discipline, I would also wish to mention that when a parent is disciplining the child, he is supposed to do it with love, because that is not an enemy. That is your child. And even if he or she has made a mistake, he will not cease from being your daughter or your son. So you do it with love, just with the intention of correcting, but not punishing.
Not punishing.
Because when it comes to punishing, that's where even some students or some children feel like they are not loved by their parents, their esteem goes down, their confidence goes down. So with authoritative parenting, they keep the discipline in check and everything else, and they communicate. Dialogue is very key in parenting, just like even in family in total. So they dialogue and they plan together and they work together. The other type of parenting is the authoritarian. Authoritarian parenting is where the parent says, I've said this and it has to be done. So they don't give room for any argument or any agreement. They are the ones who say, they are the ones who set rules and regulations, and they have to be followed without question. And that is where also we may find some children trying to rebel Yeah, because as they grow, they're also feeling they're human beings.
Yes.
They also have needs. They also would like to have some freedom or to contribute
And
in
express
whatever
themselves.
and express themselves and say what they feel or what they like.
Yeah.
So authoritarian parenting, in some cases, it may work or may not work, and especially those parents. And actually, that I think that is what used to be there before.
Yes.
Because parents had just to be listened to and obeyed.
Yes.
And it may not always work well because we know that especially the teenagers, they can reason. They can see what is good, what is not bad. So authoritarian parenting may not work very well because it means that the people are just moving without dialogue, without communicating. They don't plan together. And as much as the parent may feel that the child will be disciplined because he's told and he's doing, it may not be the best because it is best when the boundaries between parent and children has more of do's than don'ts.
Yes.
It's better because they also feel they can contribute in whatever is happening and whatever they're planning and whatever the undertakings are there in the home. The fourth type of parenting or the style is called the neglectful style of parenting, whereby the parents, either out of lack of knowledge, does not care. It is where you'll find that in a home there are no rules, there are no regulations. Whether the child spent the night outside or in the home, it is not a big deal. They are used to that. There are no rules, and the children can go anywhere, they can do anything. And it's a sorry state because it's whereby we find that then the children are influenced and they just copy without any limit, and they end up being a mess in their adult lives.
I don't know why I'm trying to twin, is it twin or intertwin, permissive parenting, when probably that's what I am thinking as you talk. That is what I was thinking. When you do permissive parenting, when the kids are young, somehow you will get to a point of neglect. You've called it neglectful parenting, whereby these kids, you permitted them or you gave them permission or you allowed them whatever they wanted, whatever they expressed themselves, you were sour. Okay. Then these kids now have gotten to 17, 18, 19 years and they are rebellious. And you don't know what to do. Because it is a lifestyle that you introduced to them when they were younger. And they don't know their boundaries because there were no boundaries in providing and maybe in parenting and all. Do you think the two are coming together? Or it's just me who is creating this?
Somehow, but in permissive parenting, the children are given everything that they require. There's no vocabulary of no. It's everything that they want. It is available. And in most cases, those permissive parents are mostly these people who have the haves.
The haves.
Because they can afford. The children have to be happy, they have to be comfortable, they have to get what I could not get. They can even travel and do everything else. But in neglectful parenting, mostly it will be those people who don't even, maybe they don't have enough to give as the children may wish to have. There may be some relationship, but mostly the permissive ones, they are also permissive. They are the free lifestyle. You can call it, it is the free lifestyle. But with the neglectful, it is mostly out of lack of knowledge. That maybe being self-centered or lack of knowledge, they're not concerned. They just do their things and they just think about their needs and not very much concerned about their children.
So as a counselor, as an expert, as a parent also, which one would you advise us to ride along?
In my opinion, the authoritative parenting would work because in this case, the parent is present and the parent is giving guidance or guidelines on what is to be done, and they also listen to the children.
Now, let's go back to toxic parenting. Sometimes you're raising these kids and you think you're doing it all well, and probably you're an authoritarian parent and you don't know you are. Sometimes these kids maybe receive so much of negativity from us parents, yeah, and we are not aware we are doing it. What are some of the things that will make a parent know that, you know, when you call yourself for that meeting, you do a reality check, yeah,
Okay.
and assess and know, yeah, by the way, I've been a toxic parent,
Okay.
or by the way, I am too much. Or I am maybe a permissive parent. What are some of the things that we should look out for to know that we are toxic parents?
Well, that term toxic,
Yeah.
toxic just literally means poisonous. Yeah, poisonous.
Yes.
Something toxic is poisonous.
Yes.
But when it comes to parenting, when you talk of toxic parenting, we are talking of that parenting whereby the parent rules the children by instilling fear in them, instill fear or guilt, or they want them to feel like they are not doing the right thing,
Yes.
they are not following what should be done. So in that one, I think some parents do it out of lack of knowledge, or just like I said, some are just self-centered, and they imagine that when they put fear in the children will be disciplined and they will be obedient. They will do everything that they want. But I think that this authoritarian parenting style
Yes.
is the one that can mostly lead to that one, because the parent in this case just wants to his commands to be followed without caring about who can do this, who is best in this, who is best in the kitchen and can be
Yes.
left there as the others go to the farm and that kind of thing, because them they just want to give orders, and the orders are
Yes.
followed. So in this case, I think dialogue has to be there in a family.
Yes.
Between parents and their children. And I said that every human being is unique. There's no human being that's like the other.
Yes.
Same case, the children are unique. So even as we give orders, or as we give, for example, if it is the chores in the family, even when we talk about maybe even the performance in school and
Yes.
that kind of thing, those parents who, for example, are always pushing their children. In some cases, you'll find a parent telling the child, if you don't get this grade this time,
Yes.
I'll not pay your school fees. And in this case, I would like the parents to know that providing requirements for that those children is not a favor. It is it's a parent's noble duty to provide for the child, to
Yes.
pay school fees.
Yes.
And in fact, I think it's the right
And all
of the
the
child.
basic needs.
All the basic needs.
Yeah.
In fact, these days we've heard of some parents being arrested for neglecting or leaving their children at home, failing to take them to school. When they talked of 100% transition from primary school to secondary schools, some chiefs were even moving around and ensuring that children are taken to school. So paying school fees is not a favor. It is a duty. And now when the parent tells the child that I will not pay school fees because you are not working hard, you are not doing as well as Wanjiko or as Kamau, it is wrong, because in that case the parent is being toxic, because the child will feel like will be intimidated, the self-esteem will go down, because the child in any case feel like so my parent does not love me,
Yes.
so I have to be like so and so to be loved or to be
Yes.
acceptable in my family. And it is a very sorry state, because that child may not be gifted. We know we are all gifted differently.
Yes.
And I said we are unique, and I'm repeating, that uniqueness has to be acknowledged. And when you compare and in fact, it is very, 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 very unfortunate to compare one child to the other, because no one is like the other. And if this child is not gifted, and you want the child to perform as well as your neighbor's child,
Yes.
in this case, you're being toxic, because that child will really start hitting self and having low self-esteem,
Yes.
and the trauma may start there and go on in the child's life. So those parents who put fear, who try to instill discipline in their children by putting fear in them,
Yes.
or guilt, those are toxic, and they are ruining the children, because those children may never be able to perform well, or be able to be at par with the other children. Yes.
So what are some of the things that we should do to blend into raising these kids of today? Because it is becoming difficult for most parents, yeah? And parents are just feeling like it is a kawaida thing to say watoto wa siku hizi ni vichwa ngumu. you know, and especially now when the term Gen Z came up and now everybody is riding along that. How many Gen Z? When a child is not dressing well, instead of telling them this, how you should dress, your age mates are dressing like this, but this is the right way to do it and all that, yeah. Instead of that, they're just riding along that, hawa ni Gen Z wanafanya hivi, waelewe ni Gen Z, you know. I feel like there's something that we need to do better. So what would you advise parents on that?
As I started saying, I said that a good parent or in effective parenting, a parent works with the child very closely, listening to the child, encouraging the child, listening to the child, and providing for the child whatever the child requires. I also said that guidance comes in handy. It's very important, and that one should start right from when the child is small. Because even that disciplining with love has to start early, because if they don't do it, and again there has to the parent has to create a rapport, has to come close to the child, such that the child can be free to share. In case of happiness, in case of problems, the parent, the mother, the father is there to listen. And if that comes early in life, then all along the child we have that warmth of the parent, and he's always assured that my mom, my father is there for me. And it will be easy to discipline the child when it starts early, or guiding the child and showing them the good morals and whatever is supposed to be done. And then they come up knowing that this is the right thing, this is what I should do. As they grow up, it will be in them. Those virtues that are planted early, they'll grow with them. But if it's not started early, it will be very difficult to change them when they are already adolescents or when they are big. And I also said that it is also very important to model the children. Parents, we set good examples to the children. Let us do those things that we would want our children to copy, such that right from the tender age, they know these are the things that we are supposed to do. These are the norms. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. If they are shown that right from early, they will grow knowing what is the best and what is not supposed to be done. And if the parents are near, they are present. The parents should always be present in the child's life. In fact, for example, if it's a school-going child, the parent is not supposed to miss any visiting day in school or any ceremonies in school, because that would create a gap. That warmth has to be felt, that my parent is always there for me. And I always have to do the things that my parents guides me to do. I have to do what is expected of me, because he has learned right from the tender age, and also is copying what the parent is doing, and also there is dialogue between the child and the parent, and they will be able to work together if that happens, such that even the child will respect the boundaries set by the parent, and we will always be out to do what is expected and to make the child proud and happy.
Yes. And then maybe when we do all these things, and then maybe we made a mistake of raising our children the wrong way, maybe not mentoring or not raising them right at a tender age. There's an age a child gets into, and maybe this child has been affected by by the parenting at the beginning. So what are some of the signs that maybe we may see in a child and know that this child has been adversely affected by the parenting style? Or not parenting style, but toxic parenting.
Toxic parenting.
Yes.
Some of the things to look out for example, is if for example dialogue was not encouraged right from that early age, we'll find that even these adolescents, for example, as they grow up, they're not talking much. They're just keeping to themselves. In fact, that is an alarm that the child may even be in bad company, may even have started abusing drugs or that kind of thing. They are just keeping to themselves. At times even being rude. At times just being what we call manga. I don't care. Yes, they
don't care attitude.
They don't care attitude. Yes, it means that child has been adversely affected or may not be growing, developing the right way. Yes.
Do we have a way we can correct that, or it would be too late?
Well, it can be corrected because even at schools these days we are receiving clients, students sent for compulsory counseling, whereby they are sent for counseling and they have to take letters to show that they attended sessions of counseling. It may work that way, but in some cases it's already too late, because at times we get even some who are already addicted to drugs, and you know that one is a serious disease. Yeah, getting addicted is easy, but coming out of it is really a struggle, because that would call for rehabilitation, which is expensive, takes a long time. But if they are known when it is just starting, counseling can help them. It can correct. Yes, I've helped some. Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
So I feel like I just want to dwell on this toxic parenting because it is there.
Yes.
Actually, we have some stories trending right now on social media that are really, really sad to listen to or even see happening, whereby we have adolescents or teenagers committing suicide just because a parent told them this. A parent did something that they did not approve of, or they felt the parent is too much for them. And probably this parent does not see as if it is a big deal because that is how they were brought up. You know, whereby I remember our days, if duties would be distributed.
Yes.
You do dishes, kazi yako is all about cleaning the house and all that. And when others have done all this and yourself you've not done your chores, you know, vita ilikuwa kali.
Yes.
You know, such that you know you have to start with cleaning your uniform, clean the dishes, study. We were very organized, and I think that is what is guiding us to date, such that we know before we go to work, we have to leave things in order. That is what is guiding us today. And parents of today, not parents of today, kids of today, don't know how to do those things because they are raised by house helps. Wanafanyiwa kila kitu. So the day you don't have a house help in your house and you tell your son or daughter, do the dishes, make sure the sink, make sure the kitchen is sparkling. It is too much for them.
Okay.
And when you come in the evening and probably tell them, why is the kitchen looking like this and all that, and maybe you are tired and frustrated by life out there, at work, everything is not working out, your finances are bad, your relationship, maybe your marriage is crumbling, and now you're letting this all out, out of a situation. And that child ends up committing suicide. You know, what are some of the things that we parents of today, especially the millennials, I want to dwell on the millennials, because they are the ones now who have the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas growing up at the moment. What are some of the things we can do to reduce toxicity in our parenting?
Okay. Well, as I said earlier, dialogue is key in any family. Parents dialogue with the children. Don't just give orders. Dialogue. Let the children also contribute in the work they are doing. Let even the children say, today I would like to do this and not this. Give them room also to contribute into whatever is happening. And also, as I said earlier, train your child right from early age to do the right things. Train your child also to work, because we know work is very necessary. It doesn't happen. It doesn't have to happen that even if there is a house girl, she has to do everything, even wash the other clothes. That child, let her right from the early age know how to take care of herself. Do some duties also, because we know when somebody can do some work, she'll also not be a problem even when she is staying with other people. Let them know how to take care of themselves. Do some duties. Even if we are to pay people to do it, let them also learn to do it, because it is very important. Because later in life, they may even require those skills of doing some work. It's okay to do that work. And also, it is also important to give positive reinforcement. With this one, I mean, when children, it's not always telling them don't do this. When they do the right things, it's also very good to recognize and appraise them. That one also raises their morale and they feel appreciated. It will help them also to continue doing the good things that they're doing, whether it is the work at home or whatever else. And something also very, very important in raising children, it is good also to help them to have some spiritual attachment. because in some cases, some parents may not be, maybe not, they don't attend church, they don't have, they are not spiritually aware of anything.
Yes.
That one is also very important, because we found that those children that have those vacuums, mostly they are the ones who can very easily be manipulated, even by these modern life challenges, like even being recruited to the illegal groupings, the Al-Shabaab, the whatever, because of that vacuum. When there's a spiritual vacuum in a person, it's very easy to manipulate that person. But if there's some spiritual attachment, even when there are some hardships, you feel that something will happen.
It
you
guides
pray,
you.
yeah, it guides you, and you are always hopeful. But somebody who has a vacuum, it is even very easy to give up.
Yeah.
Even think of even committing suicide for just some small problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think some parents are overdoing it. And when they overdo this maybe parenting thing, inakuwa too much for these kids and they cannot handle it. Because you've been talking to parents and kids, probably maybe you have encountered a child who's been brought to your office because they are rebellious and all. And maybe as an expert, when you sit and listen, you realize, I think shida ni mzazi. Have you encountered that?
Yes, it happens. And yes, and when it happens that way, I always require that the parent also come for some sessions, at least one session.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I have someone here who wrote me a question. They're asking, we have parents who are present, but they are absent in their children's lives, considering the fact that the parents are there, they are not providing, probably because they have marital issues, they have things they are going through, and they are projecting this on the kids, and now the kids are suffering, and then these parents are not disabled, they are not sick, they are just fine. But they don't have that touch and connection with the parents. When it is too much such that the society can see this is serious neglect. In our society today, do we have something that can be done? Where do we take these kids? What do we do about it to save them?
Well, I would say that that is a very sorry state whereby parents neglect their children because parenting is a noble job. And I feel that parents should not go as far as reaching a point where they cannot even provide for their children. There should have been some measures well in advance for intervention.
Yeah.
But when it comes to such a point, the government has policies and systems to take care of such children.
Oh, wow.
And actually such parents are supposed even to be arrested for neglect of their children. And then the children can be taken care of by the government through the children's the children officers.
Okay.
They are there in every county and every sub-county. There are children offices where such issues should be taken through the local chief. The government has systems whereby such children can be taken care of, even fed, even be taken to school.
Okay.
They can even be, some of them can be even accommodated in like the remand homes. Like in Murang'a town, there is a remand home. And I did some practicum there when I was doing my master's degree, and I could see some children who had issues being kept there for some time when their cases, the cases were going on in court, and then it would be ruled on what would happen to the children, whether they are taken to the children's home or whether the parents would be sober enough to be able to make up and correct the problem and take the children back. Yes.
Then why do we have that problem in our society today? Is it that we don't believe in our systems, or people are unaware of such systems?
In some cases, I think people are not aware. People don't know, but there are systems and there are plans that no child is supposed to be suffering anywhere, because the government has even, I think there is a budget to take care of such children, but some people are not aware.
Yeah.
And other times, I think even in our society, matters to do with the children are very sensitive, and people don't want to feel like they are poking their noses in
other people's businesses. Yeah.
So you'll find that the children can just suffer, and the neighbors can see, and they are not taking any action. But actually, children are not supposed to suffer. Even in the neighborhood, if somebody notices that a child is suffering in any way, he's supposed to take action, report even to the chief or to the police station, and action will be taken. Yes.
That was a bit of the topic, of the discussion thing, but I felt since you're an expert in that field, yeah, why not talk about it right now? Because it is something that is really affecting our children again, and these are the humans we are expecting will be the adults tomorrow. This is the society that we want to shape. Now, let me take you back to how we are raising our children today. Again, back to present but absent. We are raising our kids with gadgets.
Yes.
I get home, I am tired. My child is mom, and then it is too much for me. And probably I feel I need to do this quickly so they can have dinner quickly. I need to finish my assignment that I need to do a report that tomorrow I have to present and all that. And what you do after all that, is just give the phone or the laptop or the tablet to the child and tell them, Mama, just watch this, I'll talk to you. So the child will watch and watch and watch. From there, you even feed them while they are watching. Such that you find that a child is 5 years today and they don't know how to feed themselves because we are not present in their lives. The cartoons and the gadgets are parenting these kids. What effect does it have on the kids that we are raising today? Do you think these kids, the gadget kids or the gadget parenting, will have an effect in the adult of tomorrow?
Yes, for sure. That is really an issue in our lives today because actually, it's almost everybody these days who is addicted to those gadgets.
Yes.
Because you'll find that people will even abandon some assignment they are doing just to maybe watch something on the phone.
Some TikTok.
And it's such an issue because when the child gets used to the gadgets, then it will be the first priority all along, and they will actually get addicted. People get addicted to these gadgets, and even when they go to school, they'll be thinking about the gadgets more than what they are being taught, the stuff they're being taught. And come to the level of secondary school, we found cases whereby some students just fail because they are always on phone. It is a big problem, and I would advise that as much as we would want them to use these gadgets, we control them. If a child has to have a phone, even as early as let's say in secondary school, I feel children or those students, those teenagers should not have phones until they are 18 years old and they are big enough to reason, they are mature enough to reason and know how to use them. And even when they get them, let them also be advised on how to use them, because giving them early means that they'll use most of the time on the phones at the expense of their studies and even other duties at home. So there's such a problem, and I would advise the parents to withhold the phones until the children are big enough and are responsible enough to use them well, because giving them early means that they get addicted and they don't attend to other duties. Even their studies will be at risk. Yes.
Okay, so as parents, what are the alternatives, especially now that we have the high schoolers at home? It's a holiday and a long one, because I believe they'll be going back end of August. So it is too much for parents, and I believe they will give them the gadgets and all. What are the alternatives? What can they offer them that will take them away from these gadgets?
There are many alternatives. In the homes, for example, as I said earlier, parents have to be present in the lives of their children. They should spend quality time with them. Every day, a parent is supposed to sit, at least for some time, with the son or the daughter and share their experiences during the day, whatever they've been doing. Encourage also even the siblings, the children also to have some time to share on their issues and their studies and that kind of thing. And there are also activities to keep them busy. Teenagers, for example, have, in most places, there are these even public places where they can go play soccer, other games. They are in most churches, they most of the time meet there to practice the choirs and those activities. And also the work at home. I said the parents should always be planning their children, whatever activities they are there at home. Take them as early as when they are able to work even on their own, do some duties on their own, attend to even to some livestock at home, as when they are big enough to do it, because it will be a way of making them independent and even showing them work is very, very productive, and they'll be busy all through. Yes.
So like register them in clubs,
yes,
and all. I believe that is a very actually good alternative. Instead of letting them stay on phones and all. But nowadays the assignments are done using phones and all. So somehow we cannot keep the phones 100% away from them. But thank you, that is a really good alternative.
And that is why I also said that always dialogue is very important, because the parents are supposed to agree with the children. This phone can be used this way, use it this way, such that even when they have them they don't always have to go to the
bad sides and all.
The bad side of it, to the pornography and the Facebook and all that. They can use it for their own good. Yes.
It just reminded me of a friend of mine. Actually, I had a friend here on the show. He's also a counselor. He was talking to me about how they plan themselves at home, and there is this, I don't know if it's some hours or an hour of no phone time. No phone time in the evening. They need to have like family discussions, face-to-face discussions. And they talk just a few minutes, and now the stories just run dry. And they just look at each other, and you can see from these guys' faces now, the teenagers, they're like, yani masaa itaisha saa ngapi? Because they need, it is an addiction they are trying to manage. And you look at their faces, and you can see these people feel tired. Tired of face-to-face conversations. And when growing up, we didn't have those phones. And we managed to have really nice conversations.
And storytelling.
Yes. And families were close-knit.
Yes.
You know, because what else do you do if you're not talking? You find that sisters, brothers, they are so close-knit. And that has been transferred to date. Those families that were like that, they are so close-knit to date. But right now, you will find your brother, your cousin, your sister comes from abroad. They don't even bother to notify you. You're married elsewhere, so then they're just coming home, and then you'll be told, Nani aliko, because there was no connection. When you were growing up, they were connected to the phones, and you are connected to the phone, so it is not such a big deal. You will see on social media, you know. So it is quite something, and I believe that this topic of parenting is so big. I think we will need you here again. Thank you so much for coming. We really feel blessed by your presence here, and the topic that we've had quite huge. And I believe you have so many more words you can tell us and teach our parents out there, so that we can have really good relationships and good adults in future. So we are welcoming you here once again. But before we leave, probably there's something that you really wanted to tell either these kids or the adults, the parents who are parenting these kids, that I did not even ask, or I'm not even aware of. I believe as an expert, you must have a really nice parting shot. You can look at that camera and maybe address whoever will benefit from it.
Thank you very much, Sylvia.
Yes.
I'm also honored to have this chance to share with you. There's a lot we can share, and I'll be glad to be invited another time. And as we finish, I would just like to call upon the children to really listen to their parents, because there's no one else other than God. Nobody else on this earth loves you like your parents. So even when you feel like they are pushing you too much, or they are controlling you, it is out of love, because they think they are pushing you to the right direction. So listen to them, obey them, and dialogue where the need arises. And for the parents, you are wonderful, and you've been given that duty by God. And parenting is a noble job, and you have the power to mold your child into a very useful person in the society, and you have the power to bless your child. So always validate your child, always predict success in your child, and bless them, love them all the time. Thank you very much.
Amazing. And you know what? I have learned something new today, something that I never knew. Actually, there's a difference. Authoritative and authoritarian. Do not be an authoritarian. Am I right?
Yeah.
But authoritative parenting is good because you get to direct your child, yeah? Another thing I have learned, and I hope you have learned, is talk with your child, not to your child.
Really?
Because this gives a room for your child to also give their views and feedback, and you get to know where you are with your child growing and developing and all that. And we raise good adults. What more could we be expecting from such amazing people? Good things, and I hope you'll be here with us again, same time, same place. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate, and I also want to take this moment to appreciate the owners of this amazing place, the management of this amazing place. We are at the Nokras Hotel Muranga. It is an amazing place. From us, till next time, adios. Thank you.